Well, I want to put out this video because I don't think anybody else can put out this video. Actually, I didn't even know about this till just right now. What is it, December 17th or whatever it is? Um, John Bedini and both John Bedini and his brother Gary Bedini have died. John Bedini was very much on the forefront of free energy devices. I know some people say, "Oh, that's BS," but it's not. There's another thing, their product they were coming out. I think it was on Renaissance. Forget the name of it exactly. I bought their Bedini battery chargers from it. One a universal charger and one the automotive battery charger. Both work excellent. Actually, they revive a lot of batteries that are considered dead. You could probably look up a lot of work he did on YouTube. Videos he posted on YouTube about batteries he restored that are Korean War vintage, and put them right back to new again, and things that the car dealers would tell you, oh, you need a new battery for your Ford Mustang, and you restored it to perfect health again, right? Obviously, a guy they don't want around. Now, his other things he did, also in the medical area, and he came out with a very affordable type of true life machine that uses you can use like a cheap frequency generator. I think it's Veloman or whatever. Forgot what it was again. Um, I don't know if they're going to be able to keep producing those continually now. Um, it wasn't much money. It was way under $1,000 for the whole thing. Um, well, that I don't know if that idea is killed or not, but there's been actually more that he's done that you probably are not aware of. And there's things he was been afraid to put out. I'm just going to put it out a little bit on this video. I don't know if I should or shouldn't, but it's his patent, and well, it's from 1988, so it's freaking over 20 years old. And in honor of him, I just want to put out, and you're not going to be able to figure out how to freaking make this device anyway because it's deceptively more complicated. Besides what he was doing in free energy, there was another products I think were coming out by Renaissance that had to do with keeping the batteries in tip-top shape for solar charging. That's one of the weak points of solar energy is the batteries. The batteries are expensive. The batteries are just, they wear out after a while. If they draw them down too much, you wear them down too hard. Then their life expectancy goes down. They were coming out, and I don't know if they have come out with it, but they were coming out with something to actually address those problems. And I believe it because the battery technology has, like I have his universal charger that does pretty much every NiCad and nickel metal hydride battery out there. It is excellent. I'm glad I got it. It's a few $100. I got his car charger, the one that does the car battery specifically. The universal one will do that too, except it takes a little longer. Excellent product. Um, I've also read extensively a lot on what he said about, John Crane, who worked with Royal Rife. Um, don't quite agree with that all the way, but he did call out John Crane as kind of like BS. He did, honestly. I'm going to tell you that. I'm not giving you an exact, you know, I guess Crane was exaggerating some of the things he was doing. But, I still think his devices are somewhat useful. I mean, they're not total snake oil or anything like that. They're somewhat useful because people have used, like a lot of the common, divide it down. That's what really where they were. From what my research is that the John King Crane frequencies used to assist the body in healing um, were divided down from original Rife frequencies, but using I have other videos on it kind of explaining that. Probably not major attention getters or anything like that, but honestly, I think this guy was murdered and his brother. I'm just shooting from the hip on this, okay? I'm telling you right now. But I'm very much aware of high-end scientists and PhDs that are very familiar with how to kill people and make it look like a medical problem. That's been around for a long time. That's why politicians don't get out of line too much. John Bedini was afraid to put out some information on some devices because some of the devices he had were really outstanding. One was called a four-wave mixing Russian style. The other one was six-wave mixing Russian style. And they actually sell that for thousands of dollars. It's for They have one style that's used to help the body recover for sports recovery. The Russians were actually using it in the Olympics in 2000. And a lot of people are saying, how come they're doing so well? And then they reported that the Russians had this Star Trek-like device that helped the body recover from strenuous activities really easily. Now, the other thing is, though, there's other ones out there that are medical in nature that cosmonauts take upon themselves in space station because they can't take all the pharmaceuticals in the world up there in case they get sick. They have this a type of medical sonar device. Now, it's mixing waves. Now, I did see some other people put out something that was like a 4-wave mixer, and I almost guaranteed it was shut down. I almost guarantee it was shut down. I guarantee it. So anyway, this is something he passed out a while ago on an energy forum or something like that, and he made copies of it and passed it out to people. It's patented, actually. It's from June 25th, 1987. John Bedini, right? And Tom Bearden. And the electrodes you use on this are brass or silver only. It uses, you got to use like the old style Texas Instruments 555 timers. Just showing it up here real briefly. Some of the stuff, I didn't understand how to do this, man. This is like way beyond my, I can't do this. I'm not some electronic engineer or anything. But the values were cut off on here, so like some of the values you don't even have are correct. But it uses all these 555 timers, and it goes into something else. I mean, I didn't even know what this was. An H11AA1 GE General Electric. I don't know what that. A photon beam, whatever comes out of there. You're not going to know what the hell this is. But I was breaking it. I was breaking it down and trying to see what it was. 6-wave mixing. This is what the values were from the best I understand. This might be 150 ohms, but it's a variable resistor, so you got to tune it up, and you got to mess around with it. They're using variable resistors. It's not that simple. This might be 150K, not even 150K. I'm not even sure, to tell you the truth, so I'm not even giving you the right information all the way. But this device was known to kill any kind of freaking disease, including like HIV and all this other shit. It was like it just wiped it out. It adjusts to the body, senses. Maybe, I don't know, maybe spooky works that way too. I don't know. They got some kind of thing that, gives you feedback from the body, spooky too, with the spooky pulse and all that. I got some videos on that. And I haven't been putting out as many videos on it lately because I also realize, the powers that be are watching, but hey, hell, I'm putting out this video because I'm watching too. I was trying to dig out something on it, the date when he died, 11/6/2016. What the hell does that mean? Numerology? I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, if you take it the English way, the British way, right, it would be 6/11/16. Does that mean anything? I don't know. I have no idea. There was an earthquake in Oklahoma that day. I don't know what the hell that means. I have no idea. But, I am more than suspicious that him and his brother died on the same day, and especially him, and even his brother's sickness. I don't even know. But like Ted Gunderson, you remember if you ever look around on YouTube, Ted Gunderson, the FBI agent that was in charge of 700 FBI agents in Los Angeles. Later on, after he discovered a lot of things when he retired about what was really going on behind the scenes in the government and all that kind of garbage. And he started exposing it. I know he died at a ripe old age of 80-something, but you know what? It was pretty much proven that it was anthrax poisoning. I don't know what happened with John Bedini, but I do know, and I do know the high-end PhDs and scientists that'll talk about this stuff know that you can kill anybody any which way you want, any way, and make it look natural. That's why politicians don't get out of line. That's why it's almost ludicrous to think when you people all voted for Trump and you were going to send Trump to freaking change everything, that everything's going to change. Well, I don't want to make the situation sound hopeless or anything like that, because even so, without all these whiz-bang electronic devices, there's a lot of things you could do that are cheap, simple from nature, like baking soda, vitamin C, which is a hormone, and natural sunlight is actually a beneficial frequency. I also talked about on this channel the George's Lakowski multi-wave oscillator. You would think that video would get hundreds of millions of hits, for crying out loud, for what the potential it would be. George's Lakowski was hit and run by a limousine in 1942 after his device was put in New York City, being, just bringing about outstanding cures and medical reversals of incurable, debilitating diseases. And then, he gets hit and run by a limousine. Wasn't that bad, actually. He didn't want to go to the hospital. He wanted to use his devices to heal himself. They take him to the hospital. He dies, and then they take his device out of the hospital. So Bedini, what was he doing recently? I don't. He's doing he's doing a lot of stuff actually, but he did have out this one device that was it was a Philip Hoyland type Rife generator that really was true to the whole 9 yards. He could go through hit all the major frequencies that knock out cancer and all that type of stuff. It was putting out. It was dirt cheap what he was putting out. The machine was dirt cheap. I don't know if the production's going to be, stopped now. I don't know. I don't know what the hell's going to happen. But we still got Spooky Toe. But, I'm telling you, man, I'm more than suspicious on this. I can't prove anything. I can't prove a damn thing on this. And if I'm not blowing this up for attention because I don't think this video is going to get attention anyway. But let me just say that I'm stating my opinion. I got very much a suspicious mind when anybody comes out with something, free energy. People, I know the armchairs will tell you, oh, there's no such thing as free energy. Yeah, right. First off, let me say this. I know they'll say you can't get as much energy out of something as you put it into it or whatever, that type of thing. Well, you know what? Why do people mine out of the ground? They mine ore out of the ground. Well, you're using energy. Mining is a very energy-intensive thing, that occupation, right? That takes the materials out of the ground. Well, it's like, yes, energy. You can use energy to get more energy in a roundabout way. I mean, look at the mining operation itself. Yeah, mining's energy intensive. But it does produce a lot more coal or a lot more oil or whatever to get out of the ground eventually, and you get the energy from there. Now, that's one way of looking at it, but my point is, a lot of times, look at even what Nikola Tesla did with the Wardenclyffe Tower. Now he was shut down by J.P. Morgan, right? Free wireless electricity for everybody. So I'm more than suspicious something happened with this guy, that was not natural, even though it's going to be diagnosed as natural. It's going to be diagnosed that way. But like I said, I forgot the guys, who was the people. I've read this for many decades ago, and it was from very responsible PhDs that were very much familiar with chemical and biological weapons that are owned by the United States and Russia. They can assassinate any politician or anybody that gets in the way of big business very easily and make it look like a natural medical thing, just with a handshake. And they knew how to do this back in the 80s, So, what was Bedini working on recently? First, I know he had the Philip Hoyland type Rife machine that was being sold cheap. Several $100, I know the Renaissance was coming out with the what do you call it? Better methods of preserving your batteries for solar energy. That's the big Achilles heel of solar energy is the batteries. If the batteries last forever, the panels will last you like 20 years, and they're still giving you 80% of what they were when they were new. Batteries are what the problem is. They had methods of freaking helping that. I'm more than suspicious on this guy, and I know that he knew a lot more even about the medical area with healing and frequencies than he was afraid to put out the information. Now I just showed you something, but I don't know how to put it together, to tell you the truth. I'm sure some high-end Russian scientists know how to do this, and that was another thing. Even when I put out the video on the batteryizer, which turned out to be Battery Roo or something. They had to use a different name because Energizer used that name. I knew these guys were not. I knew it wasn't some popular grassroots movement. Why what was going against them? Supposedly that product has now shipped, although I don't have the damn product yet. That has nothing to do with Bedini, but that's another thing where you know I'm going to tell you right now, man. It's just my personal opinion. Personal opinion. This was no natural cause, even though it's going to be diagnosed as a natural cause. I don't buy it. Not the least. Okay, I'm just too suspicious person. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But am I going away? No, no. Um, am I going to keep putting out a lot of Spooky 2 videos? Yeah, maybe later. I get on different subjects on this channel for a reason. You know, for a reason. And also, I got to say this. I got absolutely extreme contempt for anybody that's been in the military for more than 20 years, or in law enforcement for 20 years, or in government, whether they're the judge, the district attorney. I don't give a damn who they are, because I all see you as part of the corrupt system. You play like you're fair and square, but you're not. The guys that stick their neck out are the entrepreneurs, and John Bedini was an entrepreneur. Um, but what comes around goes around, because I think more than likely this guy knew a lot. Well, he did know. I mean, he did know. I mean, it's amazing that people don't buy. You're not going to see his Bedini Renaissance battery chargers being sold by Walmart or Amazon or left and right. You know what I mean? Because they're the haters. Okay, they're part of the freaking, entrenched freaking conspiracy, if you want to call it that. That's really what the hell it is. And anybody in government is, too. They don't give a damn. They go along with whatever it is to get their pay and bennies. And, if you've been in 20 years or more and you're all retired, I already know you're a piece of scum. I'm just saying that and ad-libbing on that, because I don't give a damn who you were. You might have done good things, but by and large, you were a go-along to get along piece of scum. But, yeah, I'm kind of pissed off at this, because I'm highly suspicious. In my mind, I'm not suspicious. I flat out know this guy didn't just die, off the, like, I know he died, but I'm not saying he died for, the reasons they're going to say. And it's amazing. I'm looking on all these forums, and nobody's raising an ounce of suspicious voice at all. And I am, big time, big time. And that's why you got to play the game a little bit too. You got to throw some curveballs out there. As a matter of fact, I'll probably have some more Spooky 2 videos out there, but there's other things out there that are simple that will pretty much cure everything there is in the body. And I just want to leave you with this thought. If you look on the major media, okay, you say, oh, the major media. Don't get a knee-jerk reaction right away now when I'm saying this. But you look on the major media, you'll see plenty of articles, if you dig a little bit, about the high-tech billionaires saying they're going to live 1,000 years old, or going to live forever in their own body, not by using transfer of consciousness or some crazy crap like that. And they're telling you in the major media, they're the guy's eating like organic foods for breakfast, lunch, and supper, and he's taking vitamins. It's a lot more than that. It's a lot more than that. Actually, with a lot of these frequencies and energies you can bring in your body, there probably is potential to live many, 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 many more years. I know I'm running some stuff on the a DNA rejuvenation on Spooky 2 remotely. Also, the Lakowski multi-wave oscillator, which I don't have a real one. I got like a dumbed down one from New Hampshire, which is an amazing one. Puts out that thing. That thing will probably add you at least a decade or two to your life, more than likely. Why are people not buying it? Because it's not advertised. And why is it not advertised? Because, maybe it's just part of this system. They want you to die younger, right? Now, I look at it like this. People who are smart and productive need to live a lot longer, because it takes you decades to get into your mode where you're very smart and productive. If your health doesn't decline and your mental facilities and physical facilities don't decline, you'll be productive that much longer. See, the elite are idiots, because if you look at today, the world, the average person in the United States has it better off than the King of England would have had in the year 10 and 1000 AD because of all the technology we have, and modes of transportation, communication, ease of getting anything we want just by going to a store. Way better than the King of England would have had in 1000 AD. But if you had an elite back then, they would have stifled everybody, and they would have stopped. Nikola Tesla and Albert Einstein would have been working out in the field tilling the soil, and they would have never developed anything. Which tells you the smartest people in the world that are actually putting it. I think they did something to John Bedini. It's my opinion. I don't know, but the smartest people in the world that are being stifled by the powers, I'm saying they're actually shooting themselves in the foot. No doubt about it. They have no clue, because together we as a team, the whole entire human race, is has far more potential than the elite can even imagine in a million years. So I'll leave you with that thought. But I didn't know John Bedini died. But when I heard this, I was like, get out of here. No, no, just died the same day his brother died. Like, yeah, yeah, sure. That almost reminds me of the water powered car with Stanley Meyer too. Another thing. Um, so, and just to even go further on this, I put out videos about, and it's not conspiracy theory. You can look on YouTube and they'll call it UFO alien crap with a volcano happening in Japan during the time of the tsunami. Well, let me put it to you this way. That tsunami, I wish I PDF'd the article. They had in the major publications on automotive publications that, I just mentioned this, the water-powered car, which is not really water-powered. It's hydrogen-powered from water. Stanley Meyer. Genepacks in 2008, supposedly, you'll see these videos on YouTube. Genepacks in 2008 had the water-powered car in a little Econo box, right? Now, they backed away from that. I know the armchairs will tell you, regurgitate whatever the line is. But let me say this. There was I wish I PDF'd the article. I only saved the link at that time, and I can't pull it up. I couldn't pull it up on the Wayback, machine or nothing. I wish I PDF'd the article, but it was like the major Japanese car companies were going to come out with that technology in the luxury cars because it wouldn't add much percentage increase to the overall price of the car. They're like Mitsubishi was going to come out with a $50,000-$60,000 luxury car using that technology that could split hydrogen from water. What happened right after that? The tsunami in Japan. I mean, to me, it's not like it's a conspiracy. No, not even in the least, for crying out loud. Yeah. But of course, anybody in the government, anybody in the military that's been in a long time, they look the other way because they're getting paid their bennies. And I always think to myself, I hope you get the best $500,000 a year or $1 million a year doctor that gives you all the chemotherapy in the world when you get cancer, because what comes around goes around, you little scumbags. Anyway, that's all I got to say about that. But I don't know. John Bedini still exists somewhere. He exists in the spirit world, and his spirit will live on. And you know what happens? Like in my mind, okay, I got a suspicious mind. I think he was murdered. Okay, that's my opinion. It's not saying that as a fact. It's just my opinion. Am I trying to make a video that's, cloak and dagger conspiracy stuff? No, that's my opinion. This guy had too many different avenues that he was, going, pursuing, that were going against the medical industry, the entrenched medical industry, and the entrenched energy industry. And obviously, I also know that, the FDA would raid this guy, in his second flat if he came out and put out that Medi machine that I just showed you real briefly, which I don't even know how to put that damn thing together, and I don't even know if I gave you all the plans on it, but just want to tell you that he had that out in 1987, him and Tom Bearden. So, I'm not just talking, making something. I just wanted to show that to you, like, even though it's probably not 100% I think some of the parameters, the values were cut off on the left from that copy. But just to show you, he did have this stuff. And why does he not put it out? He would have been killed a long time ago if he did. He knows that. He knew that, you know. So what do they do? They wait till he's 7 years old or something around here, and then he dies, and they're like, oh, it's natural causes. Yeah, bullshit. This guy was in perfect health. He could have lived for decades more. Anyway, over and out. That's all I got to say about this. This is only my opinion. It's my opinion, okay? But I got a very strong opinion and a very strong suspicion on this deal. And I feel I need to put this out because I don't think anybody else is saying this. These freaking other people are like, yeah, great. Over and out.